Hello, welcome to Quartzlight, your car brochure channel, and in today's episode, something a little bit different. Let's have a look at a period newspaper. Hello, welcome back to Quartzlight. So Quartzlight, what are we? Well, we look at car brochures for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. Bit of a niche subject, I know, but have a little bit of watch. Maybe you might want to consider subscribing. Really, if you're interested in cars, car brochures, or really just generally looking back at cars that have gone by, maybe this might be a niche channel just for you. Anyway, today's episode, like that, we're going to do something slightly different. It's just going to be a one-off. This is not any change to Quartzlight, but I did find this sort of like insert from a period newspaper that I've had since 1981 when the number plates changed. We'll have a look, see what it's talking about very roughly. But there's also period adverts for cars for sale at the time, so that might be a little bit interesting as well. So let's take a look at it. So here it is. So this is out of the local newspaper at the time. It's actually dated Friday, July the 8th, 1983. I actually remember taking it out of it, but I don't remember actually keeping it. It was actually just tucked in one of the folders that I keep car brochures in. It was still there in a plastic wallet. Completely forgot about it. I was just looking for an episode to do today and thought, well, let's have a look at this. Why not? So this was all kinds of talking about how the 20-year-old number plate system had run out in the UK. We've gone to the end of the alphabet, so to speak. So before 1983, we had something called the suffix number plates that started in 63 with the letter A and then ended in 1983 with Y. So what did we do? We've run out of the number plates. What do we do? So I guess instead of having the year date at the end, we decided to put the year date at the front. And here is an example of is seen here on a Volkswagen Golf convertible A911 PNV. So we had the year code at the beginning then, and then that ran out all the way to Y, and then we had to think of a new system again. But yeah, this paper was kind of like celebrating that, and I've not looked at any of these number plates, so maybe a few people might be interested in having a look on the UK database, see if any of these cars still exist. They probably don't, but sometimes fun having a look anyway. So the newspaper came up with this clever little phrase. So here we go again. Very clever. So let's have a look at the paper. So we fold the paper out to its full length. Struggled to do so because it's been folded in that position for quite some time. You can see the top half is a slightly different colour to the lower half. It's been some time. Now we're not going to read all these little stories and that would be ridiculous, but maybe we can see some little interesting adverts. For example, here's a little bit of an example for the Triumph Acclaim here, the Summer Spectacular. An interesting history for me, my dad did get a new A-plated Triumph Acclaim at the time. Anyway, let's see what's inside the paper. So when we open it out fully, it's a typical paper from the time, a little bit of a paper that you pulled out from the main newspaper, just concentrated on cars alone. Typical sorts of things, lots of advertisements for various different makes and models of car. At the top here, interestingly, and I should remember this when I'm doing car brochures, and don't worry regulars, I'm not changing anything with Quartzlight, I just thought we'd do something different for today only. Now interestingly, this top here is talking about August the 1st registrations, your guide to new car prices and your local dealers. So when I'm looking at these car brochures and I say, oh, this one doesn't come up with a price, I should just look in the paper because this is all the prices for all the models, by looks of it, sold in the UK with the price, the new car price. For example, all the new prices for the Sierras going all the way down to a Sierra XR4i, which was £9,170 at the time. And then compare that with something like a Jag, and the top Jag there, the XJS, was £20,693. Interesting, you can get a base model Mercedes-Benz there, 200 Saloon 9,450, so slightly more expensive than the top Sierra at the time. What would you choose? We don't have time to look through every single price on here, but I will look at Triumph. And here's all that Triumph was selling at the time. The Acclaim, of course, and like I say, my Acclaim did buy. My dad did buy an Acclaim at the time. For some reason, the model he bought is all in capital letters, which is also a strange coincidence because there's nothing else written in all capitals. The Triumph Acclaim HL, which was £4,998. Although he did or would have paid less than that because I think he actually bought the demo model. Oh, and yes, there is some very questionable spellings in here. This is supposed to be Saab, and this is supposed to be Suzuki. I think this is what you should have been buying, though. A Skoda at the time. Look at that, a Skoda 105S for £2,379. What a bargain. And you forget how competitive they were. But anyway, let's move on. On the other page, it shows us the Fords for 1983, so Fiestas from £3,150, Escorts from £3,657, Capris, of course, £4,454, Sierras from £4,444, and Granadas from £6,095. And a little caption at the time, if you remember, Ford gives you more. And also interesting in this paper is look at the old dealerships as well. If I ever forget a dealership, I should just look in here and see what they were selling at the time. But things like Ang's Motors, they were selling Yugos, Reliance and Suzuki's from their little dealership, in fact, interestingly. So the Rialto was from £2,995. I just thought Reliant was a little bit expensive because right next to it, Yugo is from £2,699 for a car that had 4 wheels, essentially. But look at this. Someone's also advertising the new Rovers there as well. And then you can also see the unusual pairings. So, for example, here, Bayhorse Garage was selling Saabs and Hondas. But of course, what's equally as interesting at the time is all this is second-hand prices as well. So if we look at this one, for example, Seed for used cars, see what they've got for sale. So a 1982 Escort 1300 looks expensive, doesn't it, in £4,595. But of course, that was a 1-year-old car at the time. Let's move down the list for something cheaper. Nothing exceptionally cheap actually, but then again you forget that these are relatively new cars. So an 81 Fiat Mirafiore, £2,895. Datsun's only 1,200 for £2,495. So no real bargains because, like I said, they're relatively new cars. I'm sure you'll be able to find some better bargains somewhere. So this is all your private sellers. You know, you filled your little thing in, or you've called up and said, I'm selling my car, this is what I want to say, and it appeared in the newspaper. I wonder if we can find something particularly interesting. Well, that's kind of like caught my eye. That's got to be quite a rare car today. A Ford Cortina 2000E Estate, 1976, £1,250. She even had a CB radio fitted. What else can we find? Lancia Delta for 1981 only had 27,000 miles, £2,900. I think that probably shows you more than anything how fast Lancias depreciated in the UK at the time. This is an interesting one, an RS2000 Custom 1980 W-Reg, beige, £4,250. Certainly an expensive car if you had that today. An Austin Princess 1978, slight repairs required, £950. This sounds a good one. A Vauxhall Magnum 1978 on a T-Reg, only done 23,000 miles, £1,385. Only one owner. That would have been a good buy. 3000 GT Capri, sadly is the auto, but it's only got 56,000 miles and it's only £800. Turn the page, more cars for sales. You paid less for these tiny printed ones, so that's where you usually got your bargains. Someone's selling a Morris Ital 1.7 HLS A-Reg, so a couple of years old, only done 10,000 miles, telling us the book price is 4,200, my price 3,875. Still sounds a little bit pricey. I think I prefer the car below it, an Austin Allegro 1300 Super, 1978, 33,000 miles, £1,225. And then below it, just a reminder how cheap Capris used to be. So 1974, an A-Reg, so quite an old car by this time. Well, not that old really, is it? It's 9 years old. Excellent runner, needs tidying, £295. And also, a long time ago, you could actually buy Escort Mexicos very cheap, $795. But some of the dealers at the time had cheap cars too. If you look at the bargain basement section there, what can we see? A Triumph 2000 for $895, a Land Rover short wheelbase for $1,295. That sounds cheap. A A-Reg Viva Estate for £295. A Mini 1000 with 12 months test, £395, and even a 1975 Volkswagen minibus, $695. That would only go up in value, surely. This has to be worth the bit of a risk in the bangers section. An Escort 1100, 1971, good runner, drive away for only £70, or nearest offer. I bet you could get that for £50. I think we'll just finish on what is my favourite advert, Savoy selling Citroens. Citroens at this time were my favourite. Have a look at this dealership, there's some interesting cars in there. Interestingly, the most expensive car in this Citroen garage is actually a Triumph TR7 convertible at $5,850. Below that you can get a 2CV actually, the Charleston yellow and black version, only 1,000 miles. Our car from new, £2,995. Would of course be worth a lot more now. We have a lowly Ford Sierra 1.6L in pine green, only 6,000 miles for £4,995. But going down, oh actually this is the most expensive car actually, a Citroen CX GTI, metallic green, 13,000 miles, £7,995. We get a 2CV Club with 10,000 miles on it for £2,195. We get a Citroen Diane 6 for £2,195. We get a Citroen CX Athena white, 25,000 miles for £3,995. If you don't want a Citroen, you can get a Ford Granada 2.8 injection gear there with leather upholstery in solar green. That would have been a nice car in its day. £4,995. Another Citroen going down, a T-Reg 1978 Citroen CX family, 7-8-seater estate. Ideal holiday car, it says. I think that's the one I would pick at £1,695. But anyway, let me know which is the car you would have chose. And we'll come to the end of this, a little bit of a different episode. Next episode, of course, we'll get back on them brochures, but I just thought we'd just have a look as I just happened to fall upon this little bit of a newspaper that I've had since 1983. But thank you so much for watching today. Let me know which car you would have chosen, and we'll end, as always, by saying, please do consider subscribing. It is all completely free, and it will always be free to be a subscriber. Helps you keep in touch with the channel, helps the channel grow and give you better content. But thank you so much for watching today. Please do take care. I'll put a couple of different examples of other episodes that we normally do about brochures to one side. But like I said, thank you so much for watching today. Please do take care. All the best and goodbye.